He is from UCF, the School of Visual Art and Design. He specializes in video game history. So he's going to be leading the discussion today, and I'm going to hand it over to him now. I also have our panelists who are going to introduce themselves as well.
All right, I hope you're all excited today. I mean, who's not excited to talk about video games? Yes, everybody should be very excited right now. Okay, I'd like our panel to introduce themselves. If you could just give a brief, around 5 minutes, who you are, what your background is, and what your interests are. We'll start from left to right. Is that okay?
I guess that's me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gerard Merritt. I'm the CEO and owner of CelleC Games, Inc. We design and develop K-12 educational games, all based off of Common Core, as well as educational games for adult learners, so simulators and things of that nature for the adult side.
What we have to also understand is that the demographics has changed from students of yesteryear, where you can give them a book, 4 hours, they read it, they'll take a Scantron test. Kids today, they don't do that. They don't even like that. They want to be engaged. They want to be immersed in the learning experience. When we look at the VARC model and other different multimodal models, students today, they want to learn and then apply it immediately, so they can see the impact and the effect of what they've learned. And that way, it retains a lot more than just giving them a piece of paper or giving them a book and then saying read, and then going off and then they forget it and they don't retain it. So games are a great way to do it. It's a great way to create repetitive learning, as well as when we talk about Common Core, we're also looking at metrics and being able to capture what and as well as assess what they've truly learned and understand. We say the integration footprint of having schools be up to date is one of the major issues. But what we're doing that's a little bit different at CelleC Games is we're all these students, they pretty much have cell phones. So we're starting from the app side and saying and making it accessible to all across the board for free, and saying teachers and schools, you can implement or utilize their phones while they're in class. So we kind of bypass the infrastructure problem, because we know that all the students have phones, right? And sometimes the budget's not in place for a lot of schools that don't have that type of funding and support. But what we would like to do is create a footprint where we have the apps go through the LAN, connect back home. So now we can use the school's PCs, we can use your cell phones, as well as parents can log in at the same time, and we're all on the same page. So that's kind of our little blueprint that we're going to try to get around this this problem, because we see that funding gets tighter and tighter every year. That's easy. My team's here, so they can definitely answer that. We look at the Common Core standards, which is supposed to be the new standards for the entire United States of America within the next 10 years as it rolls out slowly in a phased development. We look for proven game designs that have either high downloads, high rates of sales, and we look at those different game mechanics, and then we try to find unique ways to infuse education into them. So it makes us a lot different from when you talk about leapfrog products, for example, or anything from Scholastic's Math Blaster, for example, where some companies feel if you animate a number, that's a game. That's not a game. So kids either don't play it, or they find the pattern to answer it to get 100, or you'll just have the kids who just are totally disengaged. So what we do is that we try to find games that really have solid key game design mechanics, and then we infuse the Common Core curriculum into them. When we talk about games and you look at the entertainment gaming side, the key fact is that it's fun, right? It's fun, it's very fun, it's very engaging. That's why when you see kids play, they're not gonna go eat, they don't stop, they don't go to sleep, they don't go to the bathroom. They can play for 12 hours straight and just blink, right? So when it comes to games, we have to kind of find that secret sauce between learning as well as the fun, which gives you the engagement and the immersion that you want, so you can get the stealth learning and be able to do all those assessments that you need, and for them to retain the knowledge. So there are lots of benefits of games when it comes to cost savings, when it comes to being able to cross multiple platforms. When we talk about tablets, mobile technology, mobile phones versus building a full simulation, chassis. there are just so many different ways that, that we can take advantage of this technology. I would definitely say, kind of piggybacking, do your homework. Definitely do your homework, do the research. Always stay up on, what's going on, because what we see today is going to change within the next 3 to 6 months. When you look at the different technologies that are coming out, you have to stay on the cutting edge. Today's kids, as well as just any individual, we always want the latest and greatest. So you definitely have to stay ahead of the curve. And games are a way to do it, but definitely if you're getting into this industry, you always have to be kind of thinking, kind of a step ahead than the rest. What you'll see in the future is the big key piece is the system integration of all of those things that everyone's brought up. So the social aspect, the reporting. You're talking about the wearables, but also when you look at everything, you're also talking about augmented reality. AR is going to finally take off, in my opinion, this year, especially with the enhancement of the lenses, screens that we have on all our tablets as well as at home. Augmented reality and all those different things being combined is going to be the future. I guess the best way for me to answer this is just to say the learning, the tool, the technology has to be able to work in all mediums, whether it be the lowest socioeconomic or whether it be the kid living in the mansion. It should be able to work across, the full spectrum, to be able to capture them, because we all learn differently, right? But, just like in a game, we all play it differently. I may be able to finish the game in a night, it may take you 2 nights, but the fact of the matter is, we're going to finish. So it's being able to just kind of cross the full spectrum, the full scale.
You mentioned having a good mixture between education and entertainment. Especially in the K through 12 level, have you noticed any shining examples where games have actually been able to achieve a good mixture?
Yes, our games. Yeah, shameless plug. So what we've recognized from K through 5th grade, for example, K through 2nd, kids will play anything, right? It can be the scholastic stuff that we find boring all the way up to the Halo, right? But it's after kids kind of cross that 2nd to 3rd grade where they're realizing, wait a second, I'm learning, that they start to realize, no, I don't want to do this. So the game designs and the game mechanics have to become more complex at that point, meaning we have to put more emphasis in the game designs as the kids get older. So for example, when you get to high school, yeah, it's you really have to have a game that is comparable to a Skyrim, that is comparable to a Watch Dogs, and for parents who you don't probably know what I'm saying, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, your kids will know. Those games have to get that complex. Why? Because high schoolers know, I don't want to sit here and learn, I want to be engaged, I don't want to be immersed in my environment. So it definitely becomes exponentially harder as you get older. I want to make something clear. Us designing and developing educational games isn't to take over schools or books or the traditional model. It's to give teachers, parents, and educators another tool, another resource to engage students, to bring them to the books, to make them want to go read and go more in depth with the research and things of that nature. So I just wanted to make sure that's clear. I don't want parents to think, well, wait a second, I'll just get an Xbox One and, we'll put educational games and there you go. No, we want to use that as a supplemental way to re-engage kids in the traditional learning process, because you can't get away from that.